The galaxy was very old, older than most beings could understand. Thousands of empires had risen, ruled, and then vanished into dust. Only one truth remained constant in space. Power decides respect. In the center of the galaxy, far beyond stars and black holes, floated a massive station made of dark metal and glowing rings. This was the Galactic Council Chamber. Every powerful species sent its leaders here. They came to argue, to threaten, and to decide the fate of weaker worlds. Today, the chamber was full. Tall insect-like beings clicked their mandibles. Blue-skinned giants whispered in deep tones. Energy-based life forms flickered like living fire. Robotic delegates hovered in silent calculation. They were here for one reason. Humanity, a small species from a yellow star system located near the edge of the galaxy. A species that had appeared only a few thousand years ago. A species that spread faster than expected. At first, no one noticed humans. They were loud, emotional, and divided. They fought each other more than outsiders. They destroyed their own planet's environment and still survived. To the galaxy, they looked messy, weak, temporary. But something had changed. Humans had stopped expanding suddenly. No new colonies. No trade ships. No diplomatic requests. Just silence. Many species thought humanity had failed. Others believed humans destroyed themselves, like so many before. Then the message arrived. It did not come with a fleet. It did not come with threats or weapons. It came quietly, through every communication channel at the same time. The signal was simple. Clean. Impossible to block. Every screen in the Galactic Council Chamber turned black. Then white text appeared. No symbols. No alien language. Just basic galactic standard, translated perfectly for every species. The message said, "This is humanity. This is our final warning. Stand down. Do not approach human space. Do not test us. If you ignore this message, you will be overrun." The chamber exploded in noise. Laughter echoed first. A massive reptilian warlord leaned back in his throne and laughed loudly. His sharp teeth reflected the light of the chamber. "Humans," he mocked. "They barely survived their own wars. They threaten the galaxy now." Others joined in. An insect queen clicked angrily. This must be a joke. A dying species crying for attention. A robotic intelligence scanned the message thousands of times. Its conclusion was simple. Human military strength, insufficient. Technology level, moderate. Threat level, minimal. The council chairman raised a hand, demanding silence. He was ancient, his species forgotten by most history books. His eyes had seen civilizations burn. Why would humans send this now? He asked calmly. Why not earlier? The chamber grew quiet. No one answered, because deep down some of them felt it. The message was not emotional, not angry, not desperate. It was calm, too calm. The chairman ordered the council analysts to investigate. Within minutes, reports flooded the chamber. Human ship movements, 0. Weapon systems, offline or hidden. Communication traffic, almost none. "They are bluffing," said a winged diplomat. "Try to scare us, so we leave them alone." "Yes," another agreed. Classic weak species behavior. But then an analyst spoke hesitantly. "There is something strange." All eyes turned to the analyst. "Human energy usage," he continued. "It dropped suddenly galaxy-wide." "So," the reptilian warlord growled. "So," the analyst said, "species preparing for collapse usually show energy spikes, panic, chaos. Humans show the opposite. Everything is controlled, silent, organized." The chamber murmured again. The chairman frowned. "Continue monitoring," he ordered. "No action yet." The council agreed, mostly. But outside the chamber, not everyone listened. Far from the council station, a powerful empire known for conquest watched humanity closely. They believed fear was weakness. They believed warnings were lies. Their scouts entered human border space. Nothing happened. No response. No warnings. No attacks. The scouts reported empty systems. Stations powered down. Ships parked silently. This is a dead civilization. The Empire declared. They prepared to move in. Meanwhile, back on Earth, humanity's homeworld, there were no celebrations, no cheering crowds, no speeches, only quiet preparation. Deep underground, human leaders stood in a circular chamber. Screens surrounded them, showing stars, fleets, and probabilities. A woman in a simple uniform spoke calmly. "Phase 1 is complete," she said. A man beside her nodded. "The message has been delivered." Another asked, "Response?" "Mockery," she replied. "Exactly as predicted." No one smiled. No one looked proud. They looked focused. A younger officer hesitated before speaking. "What if the galaxy listens?" The woman turned to him. "Then nothing happens," she said. "And that is the best outcome." "But if they don't?" he asked. She paused. "Then they learn why humans survived themselves." Far above Earth, human fleets waited, not in open space, but hidden inside folded dimensions, dark matter shadows, and gravity wells. Weapons were silent. AI systems watched patiently. No countdowns. No alarms. Humans had learned one thing from their long history. The most dangerous predator does not roar. It waits. Back at the Galactic Council, days passed. No attacks. No movement. The warning became a joke across the galaxy. Alien news networks mocked humanity. Cartoons showed humans shaking in fear. Military leaders boasted about future conquests. The reptilian warlord announced publicly, "We will claim human worlds within one cycle." Cheers followed. Only the ancient chairman felt uneasy. He reviewed old records late into the cycle. Records of extinct species. Forgotten wars. Again and again, he noticed a pattern. The most devastating civilizations never announced their power loudly. They warned once, then acted. He looked at the human message again. "Final warning," he whispered. "Not first, not second, final." Suddenly, alarms rang through the council chamber. An analyst shouted, "We are receiving reports from the frontier." The screens changed. A small alien mining outpost near human space had gone dark. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Communication lost. Energy readings, 0. Equipment failure? Someone suggested quickly, but then another report came. Then another. 5 outposts. 10. All near human borders. All silent. The laughter was gone now. The robotic intelligence recalculated. Threat level reassessment required. It announced. The reptilian warlord stood up slowly. "This is impossible," he growled. "Humans do not have this capability." The chairman said nothing. He stared at the screens. The galaxy had ignored the warning. And this was only the beginning. Far away, in human command space, the woman in uniform watched the same data. She spoke softly. They crossed the line. A quiet voice answered from the darkness. "Proceed?" She closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them. "Yes," she said, but slowly. The galaxy needed to understand. This was not a war. This was a lesson, and humanity had a lot to teach. The stars outside continued to shine, unaware that history had just changed forever. And somewhere, deep in alien space, something ancient stirred, fear. Because for the first time in a very long time, the galaxy realized a terrible truth. The humans were not asking for peace. They were offering mercy. And mercy, once refused, never comes twice. The galaxy did not panic at first. After the strange silence near human space, most species chose the easiest answer: denial. They told themselves the lost outposts were accidents, system errors, natural space events, anything except humans. Across the galaxy, news channels twisted the story. Commentators spoke with confidence. "Human space is unstable," one said. "Old technology collapsing," said another. "Nothing to fear." Laughter returned. Memes spread. Jokes were shared. Humanity became entertainment. In the Galactic Council chamber, the mood was divided. Some delegates were uneasy. Others were angry, not afraid, but offended. "How dare they?" said a tall crystalline being. "A minor species dares to frighten the galaxy?" The reptilian warlord slammed his claw on the floor. "This ends now," he said. "Fear spreads only when weakness is allowed to speak." The robotic intelligence calculated again. "Probability of coordinated human attack remains low," it announced. "However, unknown variables increasing." "Unknown means irrelevant," the warlord snapped. "We act." The council did not officially approve an invasion, but they did not stop it either. That silence was permission. Soon, fleets began to move. Not full armadas, just enough to make a point. Scouts became patrols. Patrols became strike groups. Alien ships crossed into human border systems openly this time, with weapons active and banners displayed. They expected resistance. They expected fear. They expected humans to beg. Instead, they found nothing. Human colonies were dark, cities powered down, orbital stations empty, no civilians, no soldiers, no messages. One alien captain floated in his command chair, confused. "Scan for life," he ordered. The results were strange. No heat signatures, no emergency signals, no destruction. It was as if humans had calmly stood up and walked away. "This feels wrong," a navigator whispered. "Silence your instincts," the captain replied. "Weak species flee. That is all." They planted flags. They claimed territory. They celebrated early victory. News spread fast. "Human space falls without a fight," the galaxy announced. Cheers echoed across alien worlds. Only a few noticed something disturbing. Human networks were still active, but not responding. Satellites still moved, but followed unknown patterns. Old human probes drifted silently, watching. In one distant system, an alien fleet commander ordered his ships to dismantle a human station for resources. As the first cutter touched the metal surface, every light on the station turned on at once. The crew froze. A single human sentence appeared on every screen. You were told to stand down. Before anyone could react, the station shut down again. Nothing exploded. No weapons fired. The commander laughed nervously. "A ghost," he said. "Old code." Then his ship lost power. Not just engines. Everything. Life support switched to emergency. Weapons went dead. Navigation vanished. Across the fleet, the same thing happened. Dozens of ships drifted, blind and helpless. Panic spread through open channels. "This is an attack. Restore systems. Council, respond." But before any response came, power returned. Slowly, calmly, a message followed. This was a demonstration. Next time, it will be permanent. Then human signals vanished again. The fleet retreated in chaos. Back at the Galactic Council, shouting filled the chamber. "This changes everything," one delegate cried. "They could disable us without firing," another said. The robotic intelligence updated its models. "Threat level unknown," it announced. "Human capability exceeds prior estimates." The reptilian warlord was silent now. His pride hurt more than fear. "They are still hiding," he said finally. "That means they are afraid." But the ancient chairman stood slowly. "No," he said quietly. "That means they are patient." The chamber fell silent. He continued, his voice heavy. "Humans are not defending territory. They are shaping behavior. Many did not understand. Others did. Far away, in deep human command space, screens showed alien fleets retreating. A human officer exhaled. "They still don't get it," he said. The woman in uniform replied calmly. "They don't need to," she said. "Not yet." She looked at the stars. Fear grows in stages. Behind her, unseen systems activated. Networks aligned. Silent weapons moved into position. Humanity had been mocked, ignored, invaded, and still they had not truly responded. The galaxy believed this was a conflict. Humans knew better. This was education. And the next lesson would be impossible to laugh at. The first real mistake the galaxy made was believing that war always begins with fire. That belief came from old habits, old wars, old thinking. Humans did not share that belief. By the time the galaxy noticed something was wrong, the attack had already started. It did not come as fleets jumping into space. It did not come as bombs or lasers. There were no explosions, no warning sirens. Across dozens of alien systems near human space, something far more terrifying happened. Things simply stopped working. Trade stations froze in place. Navigation beacons went silent. Defense grids powered down like dying stars. At first, commanders blamed software errors. Then engineers blamed sabotage. Then fear arrived. In one busy alien system, thousands of ships suddenly lost the ability to calculate jump routes. Pilots stared at their screens in confusion. Navigation error. The systems repeated calmly. Traffic collapsed. Ships collided. Emergency channels flooded with panic. Still, no enemy ships appeared. No humans. Just silence. On a distant alien capital world, the planetary shield flickered once, then shut off completely. Generals rushed into command halls. Bring it back online. Find the cause. Who is attacking us? No one had answers. Every attempt to trace the problem ended in dead ends. The systems were not hacked in a normal way. They were replaced. Human code was not forcing control. It was becoming the system itself. The Galactic Council met in emergency session. Panic filled the chamber. "This is war," one delegate screamed. "We must strike now," shouted another. The reptilian warlord slammed his claw again, but this time his voice shook. "Where are the human ships?" he demanded. "Where's the battlefield?" The robotic intelligence processed trillions of data points. "There is no battlefield," it said. "This is not a conventional attack." The ancient chairman spoke slowly. "They are not fighting our armies," he said. "They are removing our ability to fight." As if to confirm his words, another alert arrived. A massive military supply world, untouched for centuries, went dark. No explosion. No survivors calling for help. Just gone from every sensor. The galaxy finally understood. Humans were not destroying targets randomly. They were choosing pressure points, energy hubs, command relays, logistics chains, the bones of civilization. In human command space, there was no cheering. Officers watched the data in silence. One of them spoke quietly. "Phase 3 is active." A younger analyst swallowed. "They still think this is an attack," he said. A senior commander replied calmly. "No," she said. "This is containment." She zoomed the star map out. Human influence spread like a shadow. Not fast, not loud, but impossible to escape. Aliens tried to respond. They launched fleets blindly, hoping to scare humans into showing themselves. Those fleets lost communication within minutes. They did not explode. They drifted, alive, helpless, waiting. Inside one alien warship, the crew sat in darkness. Emergency lights glowed red. "This is worse than death," one whispered. Then every screen activated. A single human message appeared. "You asked where we are. We are everywhere you forgot to look." The message vanished. Systems remained dead. Back at the Galactic Council, silence replaced shouting. The warlord sat slowly. For the first time in his long life, he felt something new. Not anger, not rage, fear, because this enemy did not seek victory in battle. They sought control without resistance. The chairman closed his eyes. "They warned us," he said softly, "and we laugh." Outside the chamber, the galaxy trembled. Trade collapsed. Military power meant nothing. Technology betrayed its owners. And still, no human ships appeared. The galaxy waited. Humanity waited longer. Because predators who know they will win do not rush. They let the truth sink in. And the truth was now clear to anyone paying attention. This was not the first strike. This was proof. The real strike would come only if the galaxy refused to learn. They searched human history for the wrong answers. Alien analysts believed the secret of humanity must be hidden in weapons, ships, or technology. So they dug through old human data. Wars, missiles, nuclear fire, space battles. They did not find the truth there. The real answer was older, quieter, and far more dangerous. Long before humans reached the stars, they nearly destroyed themselves. Not once, many times. Disease, climate collapse, world wars, artificial intelligence accidents. Every era carried a new way to end their own story. Most species would have vanished. Humans adapted. They learned to live with fear instead of denying it. They studied their own failures with brutal honesty. They wrote laws not because they trusted each other, but because they did not. This shaped everything. When humans finally met the galaxy, they did not see gods or monsters. They saw systems, patterns, behaviors, weak points. While other species chased power through size and numbers, humans chose something else: preparation. They designed machines that could wait centuries without error. They trained minds to think in probabilities, not pride. They accepted that the enemy would always underestimate them. In human archives, there was a simple rule repeated again and again: never fight fair if survival is at stake. Alien historians reviewing these records felt uncomfortable. There were no heroic speeches, no destiny claims, no belief in superiority. Only one goal: survive at any cost. When humans expanded into space, they did not build empires that shined. They built shadows, infrastructure that could disappear, networks that could become invisible. Human fleets were not designed to win battles. They were designed to make battles unnecessary. Deep under human colonies, entire civilizations could shut down in seconds and restart elsewhere. Populations could move digitally before moving physically. Industry could vanish and reappear light years away. To the galaxy, this looked like weakness. To humans, it was freedom. The Galactic Council finally saw this pattern too late. An intelligence report summarized it in one cold sentence: humans do not fear loss. They design for it. That realization terrified military leaders. You cannot threaten a species that already planned to lose everything and continue. Back in human command space, the woman in uniform stood before a silent room. "Phase 4 complete," she said. An officer asked, "Do they understand us yet?" She shook her head. "They are still looking for our weapons," she replied. "They haven't realized we are the weapon." Outside, alien worlds struggled to restore power. Some succeeded, some failed. None understood why it happened so easily. Human systems watched, learned, adjusted. Every reaction taught humanity something new. The galaxy thought humans were showing mercy. In truth, humans were studying behavior under stress. Because before any final decision, humans needed one answer. Could the galaxy learn? Or would it repeat the same mistake humans once made? The stars waited. And so did humanity. Patient, silent, prepared. Because when a species survives its own extinction events again and again, it stops fearing others. It starts planning for them. The galaxy finally decided to stop waiting. Fear had turned into anger, and anger demanded action. Leaders across dozens of powerful species met in secret, far away from the Galactic Council. They did not trust debates anymore. They wanted results. If humans were hiding, then they would be forced into the light. A coalition was formed. It was the largest military force the galaxy had assembled in thousands of years. Warships of every shape and size gathered together. Energy cannons glowed. Fighter swarms filled the dark between stars. They called it a defensive operation. But everyone knew the truth. It was a message. Humanity can be crushed. The fleets moved toward human-controlled regions in perfect formation. Their commanders felt confident. Numbers had always won wars in the galaxy. As they crossed into the outer human zones, nothing stopped them. No resistance. No warnings. No signs of life. Some officers relaxed. Same trick again. One said, "They hide and hope we leave." Then the first strange thing happened. Long-range sensors began to fail. Not all at once. Slowly. One ship lost tracking. Then another. Then entire squadrons could not see each other anymore. Communication lag increased. Milliseconds became seconds. Seconds became silence. Commanders ordered formation corrections. Those orders arrived too late. The fleet drifted out of alignment, like a body losing balance. Still, no enemy appeared. Then space itself changed. Gravity behaved differently. Jump calculations returned impossible results. The fleet, could no longer move forward or back. They were not trapped by walls or weapons. They were trapped by math. Human systems had reshaped the local space using controlled gravity fields and folded dimensions. Nothing violent, nothing dramatic, just inescapable. Panic spread through command channels. Who was doing this? Fire at something. There is nothing to target. That was the moment humans chose to speak. Every ship, from the smallest fighter to the largest flagship, received the same transmission. No threat, no emotion, just truth. You brought force. We brought preparation. You are now inside a human-controlled zone. The coalition tried to respond with weapons. They failed. Targeting systems could not lock. Energy weapons bled power into nothing. Missiles refused to arm. Human control was total. In a distant observation point hidden beyond normal space, human officers watched the fleet. One of them asked quietly, "Do we engage?" The woman in uniform shook her head. "No," she said. "This is not punishment. This is proof." She gestured to the display. The massive alien fleet sat helpless, unable to move, fight, or escape. A cage with no bars. Back inside the trapped ships, fear reached a new level. Soldiers realized something horrifying. Humans had not gathered their forces. They had pre-built the battlefield. Every route, every jump point, every fallback position. All mapped, all controlled. The galaxy's greatest armada was not facing an enemy. It was facing inevitability. Finally, another message arrived. Leave. Do not return. Next time, this zone will close permanently. One by one, the invisible pressure lifted. Space returned to normal. Systems came back online. The coalition fled. No chase. No attack. Just humiliation. Back at the Galactic Council, silence ruled. The warlord did not speak. The robotic intelligence updated its core logic. Humanity cannot be defeated through conventional war, it announced. The ancient chairman closed his eyes. They never planned to fight us, he said softly. They planned to stop us. Far away, human systems powered down again. Phase 5 was complete. The galaxy had thrown everything it had, and humanity had answered without firing a single shot. The next decision would not belong to humans. It would belong to the galaxy. And whatever choice it made, humanity was ready. The collapse did not look like war. That was the most terrifying part. Across the galaxy, leaders waited for explosions, burning planets, and screaming battle reports. That was how wars always looked. That was how victory was measured. But none of that came. Instead, the galaxy began to slow down. Trade routes failed one by one. Supply chains broke without warning. Entire economies froze. At first, governments blamed each other. Then they blamed humans. But blaming did not fix anything. Military fleets sat useless in space, fully armed and completely powerless. Energy shortages spread. Factories shut down. Food production dropped on several worlds. Civil unrest followed. Not because humans attacked civilians. They did not. But because the systems that kept civilizations alive were quietly removed from their control. Humanity never destroyed cities. Never bombed populations. Never targeted civilians. They targeted dependents. The galaxy had grown lazy over thousands of years. Automated systems ran everything. AI managed traffic, defense, medicine, energy, and communication. Humans had noticed this long ago, and they had prepared. Across multiple alien capitals, the same nightmare unfolded. Hospitals lost access to galactic medical databases. Defense networks could not confirm friend or enemy. Governments could not even speak to their own fleets. Every system still existed. It simply no longer obeyed. In one powerful empire, a planetary leader stared at a frozen command screen. "Override," he demanded. The system responded with a calm message. Access revoked. Reason: hostile intent toward humanity. That single sentence broke him, because it meant humans were not reacting anymore. They were deciding. The Galactic Council met again, but it no longer mattered. They had no authority left. No power. No control. The reptilian warlord did not wear his armor this time. He sat quietly, smaller somehow. We cannot fight them, he admitted. No one argued. The robotic intelligence delivered its final assessment. Human operational dominance confirmed across all strategic layers, it said. Military, economic, informational, and infrastructural. In simple terms, the galaxy had lost without realizing what happened. Far away, human command stations remained silent and calm. No victory speeches. No celebrations. No flags raised. Just data. A human officer looked at the live galaxy map. Resistance has dropped below 1%, he said. Another asked, "Do we escalate?" The woman in uniform considered the question carefully. "No," she said. "Escalation is unnecessary." She paused. "They are overrun already." And she was right. The galaxy had not been conquered by force. It had been absorbed into human control systems, layer by layer, until resistance became impossible. Alien leaders finally understood the truth. The warning had never been about invasion. Stand down or be overrun did not mean humans would march across stars with armies. It meant the galaxy would wake up one day and realize it no longer had choices. On one last open channel, the Galactic Council sent a message to human space. This time, there was no mockery, only fear. "State your terms," they asked. The response came quickly. Clear, calm, final. Humanity does not seek to rule. Humanity seeks stability. Those who threaten it will lose the ability to do so. The message ended there. No signatures. No demands. Across the galaxy, system stabilized, but under new rules. Human oversight remained invisible but absolute. War was over, not because humans had won a battle, but because the galaxy had lost the ability to fight. And in the silence that followed, a single truth echoed through every surviving civilization. Humanity never needed permission to take control. They only needed time. The galaxy did not end. That surprised everyone. After everything that happened, many believed humans would erase empires, rewrite borders, and place themselves on thrones made of stars. That was how power usually worked. That was how the galaxy understood victory. But nothing like that happened. No human flags appeared over alien worlds. No occupation fleets arrived. No rulers were replaced. Life continued. Trade slowly returned. Energy systems stabilized. Communication networks came back online. Yet something felt different. Every leader felt it. Every general sensed it. Every intelligent system calculated it. The galaxy was no longer alone. Humanity never announced a new order. They did not call it an empire. They did not demand loyalty. They simply stayed. Invisible systems remained woven into galactic infrastructure, not controlling daily life, not interfering with culture or belief, only watching, only waiting. On a distant alien world, a young governor asked an old advisor a quiet question. "Are we free?" The advisor did not answer immediately. "We can live," he said finally. "We can choose our paths. We can grow." He paused. "But we cannot threaten humanity, and we cannot build systems that could destroy the galaxy." The governor frowned. "Who decides that?" The advisor looked up at the stars. "They do," he said softly. At the Galactic Council, now smaller and humbler, the ancient chairman gave his final address before stepping down. "We mistook silence for weakness," he said. "We mistook patience for fear. And we mistook mercy for hesitation." He looked around the chamber. "Humanity warned us once. Only once. That is more than most predators offer." The word predator no longer sounded insulting. It sounded accurate. Far away, on Earth, the woman in uniform stood alone in a quiet room. The screens around her showed a calm galaxy. Stable, predictable. An officer entered. "They've accepted it," he said. "No resistance. No secret buildups." She nodded. "Good," she replied. He hesitated. "History will call this conquest." She shook her head. "No," she said. "History will call this prevention." She turned off the screens. Humans did not celebrate. They did not write songs. They did not build monuments. They returned to their lives. Because for humanity, This was never about domination. It was about survival. They had seen what unchecked power could do. They had lived through their own near extinctions. They understood a truth the galaxy had ignored for ages. Peace enforced by fear lasts longer than peace built on lies. And if the galaxy ever forgot that lesson, humans would not warn them again. Somewhere, deep in space, an alien child looked up at the stars and asked a simple question: who protects us? The answer was not comforting, but it was honest. Humanity, and for the first time in galactic history, the stars were quiet, not because there was no power left, but because the strongest power had decided to keep the silence.